Hey, everybody, crystal blessings. Thanks for joining me here today. Okay, so let's see. Just making sure everything is turned on and I see you guys filing in. Hi, Saffron. Okay, just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me all right, and I will continue on. What is happening with the frizz today? Hi, Reveal Life. All right, so today we're going to talk about, are crystals alive? Are they alive? Are they living things? All right, I'm Hibiscus Moon. I'm the founder of the Hibiscus Moon Crystal Academy, where I certify people as crystal healers and I teach all aspects of working with crystals. And today we're going to discuss whether crystals are indeed living things. Do they have consciousness? And if you think this is going to be some kind of like woo-woo conversation, fasten your seatbelts, think again, because as usual, I'm bringing the science. Okay. All right. If you would please answer this, or not answer this, but type, if you think crystals are alive, type "it's alive" in the comments. If you think they are indeed living beings, living things, or just put a little plant emoji in there. I thought that would be fun, just to let me know what you think. And okay, looks like, okay, cool. And also I wanted to say thank you to those of you who stepped up and volunteered to be moderators. Thank you so much. JMCFL, I see you there. And spiritual medium Clayton Rogue, thank you so much. And a whole bunch of you saying it's alive and plant emojis. I see a broccoli. I think that's broccoli. Thank you. All right. So it looks like a lot of you are on. Oh, that's Jinjin. Oh, hi, Jinjin. She's a mod. You're a mod. Thank you. All right. So let's get going here. Now, if you click on the link in the description box below, that's going to take you to my accompanying blog post. That's the easiest place for me to link to all kinds of different resources that I've included there that will back up what we're going to be discussing here today. And you can also sign up for my newsletter there, the top header, because next week's newsletter, I'm going to be including something special that goes along with today's topic. So you can just enter your name and your email, click yes, please, and you're subscribed to my newsletter. All right, and for this email, please like, comment, and share this video out. Those actions tell YouTube that you like this content, you want to see more content like this, and also please subscribe to my channel if you aren't already, and click the little bell so you get notified whenever I go live. All right, we're going to get into the content here real soon. If you like to approach these sorts of crystal topics from both a scientific perspective, yet a metaphysical one, with me teaching you in my certified crystal healer course, then you want to get on my interest list, because we're going to be registering real soon. Go to hibiscusmoonjoin.com, hibiscusmoonjoin.com. That's where you can get on the interest list. We'll be registering for my fall term very soon. So that's going to be where you get all the up-to-date information. It's the last term for 2019, and this term is different. This is a live coaching round, okay? I don't always do that. So if you're interested in getting in on that live coaching round, you might want to go ahead and get in on there now. All right, so here's a quote from many of our favorite, for many of us, a favorite scientist, inventor, Nikola Tesla. And he said, "Crystals are living beings at the beginning of creation. All things have a frequency and a vibration." So that's like my jumping off point here today, okay? Now, some will argue that crystals are indeed living beings. They have a frequency and a vibration, and they're able to transmit and receive highly complicated, complex electromagnetic frequencies. This makes a really good argument for why crystals are crucial in our technological advances, in a lot of our technology, okay? For instance, we use some rubies and diamonds for lasers, very high quality, high purity quartz crystals that are laser trimmed for quartz watches. We even go in and find a very precise angle in a high purity quartz crystal. It's exactly 35 degrees, 25 minutes from the C-axis. I know, getting all into the crystallography here, to create a quartz oscillator wafer. And it must be that very specific angle, okay? I go into that in one of my, my Crystal Savvy elective. And those wafers are used for radio receivers, sensors, different types of high techy clocks, guidance systems, all kinds of things. And that's actually the angle. That angle is tied to angels. No coincidence that the words are similar. And again, I go more into that in my Crystal Savvy elective. So talk about highly complex, right? And then sapphires. Sapphires are used in circuits. They're used for cell phones, satellites, so lots of different things. Now, let me just go off on a little tangent here, a little sidebar. Many scientists are now coming to this conclusion about a crystal giving rise to what we actually define as life. All right, there's now evidence backing this up. I have, and I've been talking about this for years, a very strong inner knowing that that's where all life sprang from, is originally a crystal. All right, and what we define as commonly in everyday language, life, quote unquote life. And it really kind of makes sense, right? From a crystal, I don't know, it just really falls into place for me. If we take a look at the evidence for how the first DNA strand, which is a sacred spiral, came into existence, that spiral seems to have actually evolved from a crystal prototype, an actual crystal itself. Actually, specifically a clay silicon included crystal. And silicon is the basic ingredient of quartz. Silicon actually grows in a spiral. If we were to look at the molecular structure in the C-axis that goes vertically here from point to point, it grows in a spiral. Okay, so does DNA. We see patterns there, magical, sacred patterns. And there's that common thread that I love to look for. And I think that helps explain that close affinity we have, that attraction, the immediate or the innate resonance that so many of us have for crystals. Okay, so back to the topic at hand, if crystals are alive. I often wonder, though, if not only do crystals hold much more power and energy than we realize, even those of us that are so into the crystals, but they hold maybe even more consciousness than we realize and intelligence than we realize. But not just the crystals, but what else does that we wouldn't normally come to expect? Because we think we, as humans, are like the pinnacle of what it means to be a living, breathing thing. We're just so evolved. We're at the top of the heap. The opposite on the spectrum of what a dumb as a rock, right? Of what a rock is. Dumb as a rock. We've got that term. Late scientist, inventor, author, Itzhak Bentov, and he wrote this book. This is the old version. This is the new version. I ended up with 2 copies of these, and I showed you on Instagram stories. I just love this book, Stalking the Wild Pendulum. If you really want to geek out on this kind of stuff, read Itzhak Bentov. He's just an amazing mind. And he's quoted as saying, and it's actually in this book, this quote, "We may at first have trouble trying to visualize a rock or an atom as a living thing because we associate consciousness with life. But this notion is just a human limitation. A rock may also have difficulty in understanding human consciousness." So think about that. Perhaps we as humans are not nearly as smart as we think we are. I mean, think about what we're doing to ourselves, what we're doing to the planet. What if we're one of the least intelligent, the least powerful of anything on this planet? Let's not even get into beyond the planet. While maybe the sharks and then the crocodiles are saying to themselves, geez, it's going to be so nice when these genius humans go the way of the dinosaurs. We'll have the place all to ourselves again. Because, sharks have been here 400 million years, crocodiles 200 million years. I'd say they're pretty well established. They've got this life thing on Earth pretty much figured out. We've only been here maybe 1 million years in our modern form. So who's more intelligent? Okay, who's more successful? Along those lines, crystals, if we're going to go that route, are even more established and successful. They're as old as the Earth. Zircon crystals are anywhere between 4.1 and 4.4 million years old, and the Earth itself is 4.6 billion. That's 4.4 million years old, and the Earth is 4.6 billion years old. But the zircon rocks are like I'm sorry, I'm saying million. It's billion years. I'm getting mixed up there. They're almost as old as the earth itself. So who's more successful? Maybe the crystals are the most successful and have it all completely figured out. And we just don't understand how that level of consciousness works. Keep in mind that many ancient cultures and teachings, especially those of aboriginal tribes, teach that crystals are indeed alive. Like this isn't even a conversation for them. They believe that the earth itself is a living, breathing entity. And now some scientists, fringe scientists, and even not so fringe, are starting to come on board with this idea too, that the earth itself is a breathing, living entity. And what is the earth anyway, but the single largest crystal we know of? The planet itself, because the core of the planet is most likely and highly likely from the sonic measurements we've been able to take, a single huge iron crystal presenting itself as sacred geometry, a dodecahedron. Okay, that's most likely the shape. Now, some scientists are saying maybe it's not iron, maybe it's actually diamond. That remains to be seen because we don't have the technology to go down there and see it with our own eyes. But we can send these sonic energies there and measure the shape that we're getting back, and then, basically theorize on what the precise mineral content is. So I like to focus on the available science that backs up my theories and find the common threads in that available science to prove what we're talking about. My certified crystal healer students love, because they've told me over and over again, this science assist, because it gives them so much confidence in explaining how crystals work to others and to themselves. And that gives them confidence in the work that they're doing. So in working with the crystal energy, it gives them so much super confidence. So let's go over the rules for being alive. There are 5 criteria, the general scientific consensus of what makes something a living thing. All right. So we're going to use their criteria, and let's take a look and see if crystals do fit. So number 1 is complexity. Number 2 has to have access to some sort of food for energy. Think of yourself. Do you fit into these things? 3 has to have the ability to grow. 4, the ability to reproduce. And 5, the ability to evolve in order to survive changing conditions. So those are the 5 criteria. So you might hear someone then say, they hear those and they go, well, then obviously crystals aren't alive. We're going to get to that. Are they? Are they not? So again, please like, comment, and share this video out. Again, those actions tell YouTube you like this content, you want to see more like this. And also, if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and make sure you click the bell so you get notified whenever I go live. Now, I know some of you have been saying that you have the notifications clicked and you're not getting them. There's 2 things you want to look at. One, YouTube changed things. You have to click get all notifications. Otherwise, they only send you some of them. The other part of it is on your smartphone, you have to go into the settings to YouTube and make sure that you have notifications turned on, because if those are turned off on your phone, you won't get them. All right, next we're going to go over our crystals conscious. We're going to go through each criterion and show you how crystals fit into our scientific definition of what's alive. I'll give you my personal opinion on the whole thing. And I'm going to do something kind of unrelated. I decided spontaneously I'm going to do an unboxing of something very special. And then we'll do some Q&A at the end, okay? If you click on the link in the description box below, that's going to take you to my accompanying blog post where I link to many resources, lots of scientific resources that back up what we're discussing now. And you can sign up for my newsletter. And you'll probably want to do that because next week I'm going to be including something special that's going to go only to my newsletter that goes along with today's topic. So just enter your info there, your name and your email address, click yes, please, and you're subscribed. And if you like to approach these sorts of crystal topics from both the scientific point of view and the metaphysical point of view with me teaching you and become a certified crystal healer, my certified crystal healer course, then join me over on hibiscusmoonjoin.com. that will put you on my interest list for my course. So you'll get all the up-to-date information because we're going to be registering for my fall term soon. And this is the last term for 2019. And this is a special one because this is my live coaching round, and I don't always do that. All right, so let's see where our crystals measure up on that list of criteria for being a living thing. All right, complexity. I think we touched on that already a little bit. If you study and work with crystals, you'll realize that they effortlessly express their geometric beauty. They form in a highly complex ordered geometric way. That's how the molecules are structured, and then a rough crystal will actually express that on the macro scale, the large scale. And they express energy and consciousness in a very complex way too. They have properties, these are scientific properties, why we're able to use them in technology that they harness. Not all crystals have all the properties. Some have all the properties, like quartz have piezoelectricity, pyroelectricity, triboluminescence. I have videos on all these little topics on my YouTube channel. The angles of quartz that we discussed a little bit previously, the inherent geometric perfection. Okay, all these properties are methods of energetic communication. And I teach that this method of communication, using the sacred geometric perfection, the inherent geometric perfection, may be the preferred universal method of communication for all energy. I feel very, very strongly for that because we have evidence upon evidence upon evidence of it. And I feel that studying crystals, along with their geometry and their inherent complex molecular structure, is the key to understanding the science of the cosmos, of everything. So complexity, check. Okay, we got that one. All right, next criteria, access some sort of food for energy. So you might be like, well, no, crystals don't eat. Crystals do indeed consume various forms of energy that are present in a supersaturated solution in order for them to form, in order for them to grow. By getting a form of energy, nourishment, like heat, pressure, they use the elements around them, direct from Mama Earth. What am I talking about? You're going to want to check out this magical video where I explain this further. I go in deep on it, so I didn't want to pop it in here because some of you might want to not go down that rabbit hole. And I even managed to capture crystal growth on camera. It was so hard to do, but I did it. This is what I'm going to include in next week's newsletter. It's like a throwback gem. Okay, so there's that criteria, access some sort of food for energy. Okay, then the next one, the ability to grow. Of course, you know crystals grow. And some of my students have even been tasked with growing the crystals. If you take my Crystal Savvy elective, again, that's one of the things there, and Sacred Geometry elective. It's an interactive exercise to actually get involved with growing a crystal so you can experience crystal growth. This is how we get our various beloved crystal formations, like an celestial, like this one here, like an octahedron in a fluorite. Growing crystals is so much fun. And then you even get to fully understand that accessing of some sort of food for energy part too by doing that. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, we've got those 3 checks. How about the ability to reproduce? Do crystals go on dates and get together with the opposite sex and reproduce? Well, not that way, but not all animals reproduce that way either. So yes, indeed, crystals do reproduce, they multiply, all right? And they do so exponentially. Or parts of a crystal can break off during its growth process and become a new growth or a new growing crystal itself. They can self-heal themselves in growth. So, you know, crystal can break off and then 3 more can grow there. So that demonstrates that they do indeed reproduce. I mean, how else would we get so many crystals if they didn't reproduce, right? So check, we got that one. And the last one, the ability to evolve in order to survive changing conditions. So we think because a crystal can't get up and walk away, that they're not able to survive changing conditions. Okay, a plant can't either. A tree can't either. The idea of a crystal being able to evolve in order to survive its changing environment. might be kind of weird to some people. But to those of us who've worked with crystals or even just had several in our collections for a long amount of time, may have actually witnessed with our own eyes change over time. But crystals in general take a long time to change and evolve. But back to some of us who've had crystals in our collections and have viewed them evolving, and some of you in the comments might have seen this too. So many of you come to me with stories of your crystals changing, and they're like, I know the crystal used to look like this, and now it's like this. And I've witnessed it in my collection too. But even in the science lab, crystallographers have noted a crystal submerged in sea salt all of a sudden becoming more clear, gaining clarity. It's evolving to survive changing conditions. And do they do this over a stretched out, long length of time? I mean, we talked about the zircons being billions of years old. Absolutely, they do. So my opinion is that yes, although we don't have a way to measure it in some instances, and some we do, like we talked about that crystal submerged in salt water, crystals do have a form of consciousness, I feel. Now, we don't have a way to measure that per se. It might not be the same type of consciousness we're used to or that we understand, but yes, I believe that they do. We might even apply some level of consciousness to all matter, and that's something that Itzhak Bentov talks about in this book, Stalking the Wild Pendulum. What's really cool is that different scientists of different various disciplines are starting to come around on this and play with the idea of what makes something alive. And back in 2013, and this is like going a little ways back now, 6 years ago, scientists were successful in creating crystals that they classified as quote unquote almost alive. So what's to say that in 4.6 billion years, the Earth hasn't figured out how to do that herself? Not to mention older planets throughout the galaxies of the multiverse. What's going on out there? So personally, I feel like anything that emits energy, which is everything, has consciousness. But the key is the more complex that energy, the more complex the consciousness. And the energy from a crystal, we've talked about it, is highly complex. So extremely complex in their structure and their energy. So like I said, the more complex that energy, the more complex the consciousness. Crystals, therefore, you see where I'm going here? Very complex in their structure and energy. So in my opinion, crystals are alive. And now looking at these 5 criteria that I gave you for a living thing, looks like we've hit a home run. That a crystal is a living thing. Okay? Of course, if you'd like to debate that point, I'd love to see your comments on my accompanying blog post. That's where I reply to everything there. And I like a respectful debate. I'm open to it because I'm open to changing my mind. If you bring something that's really a good point and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, well maybe I'll look at that. The reason why so many of us are resistant to believing that crystals might be alive is that crystals being millions or billions of years old can sometimes take a very long, excruciating long time to demonstrate those criteria for being alive. So the ones that we discussed, the 5. So maybe because it doesn't happen quickly enough for us to notice it in our little itty bitty lifespans and perceive those changes. Sometimes we can, though, still. Many simply think crystals can't be alive because, we didn't see it. I didn't see it in my lifetime. But what if you sped up a billion years and watched the crystal? I think it would seem very much alive. So if that's our definition of what being alive is, then we better include crystals as alive, maybe viruses too, or revise our definition of what a living thing is, right? I hope I've demonstrated that to you. And like I said, I'm open to hearing other opinions. So if you click on the link in the description box below, that's going to take you to the accompanying blog post. That's where I listed all kinds of resources, scientific articles, and things that back up what we discussed here today. You can sign up for my newsletter because next week I'm going to be including that special video, Crystal Growth. And please like, comment, and share this video out. Those actions, again, tell YouTube that you like it, you want to see more of it. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, click the bell so you get notified whenever I go live. And if you like my approach to these kinds of crystal topics, you like that I bring the science and the metaphysical together, and you'd like me to teach you and coach you in my certified crystal healing course, then join me over on hibiscusmoonjoin.com. That's going to put you on my interest list so you get all the up-to-the-minute information. We're registering for the fall term very soon. It's the last term for 2019, and this is a live coaching round with me. So I don't always do that, so this one is special. Okay, so I said we're going to do Q&A, but I said I was going to do an unboxing with you guys. So this is something that I've been working on with Almanac Supply Company. I'm really excited about this, and I got it in the mail. Now, I did open it just to make it easier on the live stream, but I haven't gone through it. So this is our new supply kit. All right, I love the little branding on it. It says Hibiscus Moon. Okay, so you open it up. First thing you see is the little postcard. I know it might be backwards for you guys. That's a gorgeous amethyst photo. And it's the Crystal Healer course kit. So it lists what's in the set, additional pieces. And I love their packaging because it's eco-friendly packaging. So you got all these little things, which are going to end up all over my floor now. Fun, fun. Okay. And I hope I don't leave things in the box. We've got this little bag here. Okay, and everything might, oh, no, there's another bag. All right, now I'm not going to go through everything one by one. If you're interested, there's a link on the accompanying blog post. If you click on the description box below, you can go right to the kit. Even if you're not taking my course and you just want like a beginner's kit of crystals, it's a great kit because we collaborated together on the quality, the size of the crystals, and what I felt needed to be included for taking a certified crystal healer course. Look at the size, oh my gosh, of the natural clear quartz. Oh, so nice, so nice. Okay, there's a pendulum here in this little bag, a clear quartz pendulum, and some smoky quartz chunks, 2 of those because you need those for the course. There's a chakra set of stones. Oh, a rough rose quartz. All right, so I'll just show you these really quick. Oh, wow. And these are hefty. They're nice sized crystals. This is a pyrite. Pretty, pretty. Okay, what's in this bag? I forgot. Oh yeah. Okay, I think I know. Okay, we got black tourmaline. This is the dirty stuff, all right? So this is, and I'm not going to take it out because I'm going to get it all over me. It's a piece of lodestone, and it's honking big, chunky piece of lodestone in there. And the reason why it's dirty is because it has iron filings on it, which proves and shows to you that it is indeed magnetic, which is important to have that energetic property for the exercises we're going to be doing in the Certified Crystal Healer course. Those of you who've taken the course know what that's all about. All right, let's do some Q&A. I'm going to drink some water real fast. Mary Lou said, crystals are the oldest spiritual beings and they are alive. Luke Skywalker, it's the exotic elements that are superconducting plasma. It's pyramid nanostructures inside of them as an antenna to harness these tachyons, supermagnetic superlight. It is the Oregon flower of life. Luke is going deep. Luke, Kyber crystals are alive. Do you know that? That's canon. Okay, Mother Moorhen says viruses are alive. Well, it's up for debate with scientists. Some say they're not, and some say they are. Kim said, me want, so does my son. It's an amazing kit. If you're just looking for a beginner kit of crystals, that is the bomb right there. Oh, you liked my unboxing? Thank you. I'm not used to doing them. Love lodestone, said Jenny, and amethyst. Awesome kit. Thank you, Jin Jin. Sense and Stone said, when does the next course start? I believe the first day of class is September 2nd or 3rd. I forget the exact date, but it's the beginning of September. But we're going to be registering a couple weeks before that and closing registration. So don't wait till September because it will be too late. Sheila said, crystals are very much living, beautiful, and healing. Cece said, where do I find information for your scholarship? Cece, we already did the scholarship for 2019, so we won't be doing that again until 2020. So we don't have information posted on that as of yet. Okay. Spook said, what camera do you use? It's great quality. Thank you. It's a Logitech, like Logitech webcam. Thank you. I think it's also the quality of your internet, your Wi-Fi signal too, that matters. Sheila said, beautiful kit. Thank you. Excellence said, hi, I seem to be attracted to majorly one stone labradorite. What do you think about that? I think it's one you should be working with. It's labradorite is all about new moon energy and magic, tapping into your magic. So experiment with it, meditate with it, have fun with it. Luke said they are also ancient water ormus. Yes, Luke, and sometimes the anhydro crystals actually have encased within them that ancient water in its liquid form, which is really interesting. Hanif said, what do you think about moldavite? I think a lot about moldavite. Moldavite is extremely powerful. Go to Google and type in hibiscus moon moldavite, and you'll find a few different blog posts and videos that I've done in the past about moldavite. Tall and Thin said, can wearing or using crystals increase your lifespan? I know the ancients used them. The ancients used them in many ways. I don't necessarily know if that, if you work on the purpose of increasing your lifespan, if that is your goal, then you can do certain things with crystals to achieve that goal. But, as far as like our human physical body lifespan, our life energy doesn't snuff out because our physical body peters out. That's just my belief system. So because you're working with the crystals doesn't mean that, because your physical body has gone off, your spiritual body, your essence becomes bigger and bigger and bigger with working with the crystals. So that's my personal belief system. Cece said, how many of your crystals would you say that you have a really close relationship with? Well, Cece, it depends on how many I've worked with recently and created that bond with, because even if I've worked with one a long time ago and had a close bond with it, I noticed that if I haven't worked with it recently, that bond starts to shift. Just like your bond with friends, right? But sometimes it's like riding a bicycle and get right back into it very easily because I had that close bond established long ago. But I would say probably close bond with all the crystals that I have, either ones that I've worked with closely in the past or currently. It's a very small group, kind of like in real life with my friend group. It's a small group. I'd say 10 that I feel a really close relationship with and that I've worked with for a long time. Yeah, so it's not as many as you think, probably. Okay, and Soleil asked a good question. So if crystals are alive, can they die as well? If so, how? I feel when we're talking about the crystals being alive, it's about their energy and their consciousness, as well as with ourselves. I don't feel like your energy or your consciousness ever dies. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed, only transformed from one form to another. It's a principle of thermodynamics, a law of thermodynamics, okay? So it's only going to transform from one form into another, all right? Now, I do believe that the energy contained within a crystal lasts longer in that container than it lasts within us, because that container can last billions of years, as we said. And then that crystal can end up naturally going into the rock cycle and getting recycled. And that energy will be transformed into some other form and go into some other process or something like that. So I hope that answers your question. You're welcome. Hey, Barry, he said, love this kit. Even though I am a CCH graduate, yay, I definitely want one of these as an extra set and to complement my other crystal healing kits. It's a really high quality set. Thank you, Barry. Luke said your aura can be intensified with crystals. Absolutely, it can. A Kirlian camera can capture the increased energy. Absolutely, yes. And we talk about that in the course as well. Okay, two more questions. I've had one big break. I'm wondering if you mean a crystal break, and I watched each part change. That happens a lot, physically and energetically. I was going crazy. No, 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 no. It happens so often. And I always think back to this one crystal. It's the one crystal I regret selling. It had a crack down, like diagonally down the middle. And the top of it changed into a deep, dark, smoky quartz, and the bottom of it was a golden citrine. And that change took place after the crack happened. Now it self healed itself, but you could see the crack and very distinctly see the two very distinct color zoning. It wasn't like a little bit, it was extreme, amazing. Okay, and one more question. Would love to see collaboration podcast with you and Mark Bayerski on the power of crystals. Cowboy Bebop, I would love to do that because I love Mark Bayerski's attitude, his energy. If you guys aren't subscribed to him, go subscribe to him right now. It's Mark. I think it's MRC or is it MRK? And Bayerski is BAJERSKI. He's always laughing. He has such a beautiful energy. If he does a podcast, I'd love to go on his podcast. I love him. I watch him all the time. Okay, everybody. I love you all. Have a great day. Crystal blessings. I hope learning about if crystals are alive or not has made you happier, has made your day happier, funner. I don't know. Is that a word? More fun? All right, everybody. Have a great day and crystal blessings. Talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.